Hey guys, and welcome back to another new year. So as I usually have done with the past few years, early January I usually try and get out my most anticipated films of the year. And so today I'm going to be talking about my 10 most anticipated films of the year, as well as a few kind of runner-up films just briefly. So I've got it all written down on a list on my phone. So a few of the runner-up films I'll just get through quickly because you don't want to hear about them a lot. A Hologram for the King, which is directed by Tom Tykwer, who was one of the directors on Cloud Atlas, and it also stars Tom Hanks from Cloud Atlas. That's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know much about the film yet because I haven't released any images or trailers or anything like that. Another film is St. James Place, which also stars Tom Hanks, and it's directed by Steven Spielberg, so I'm really looking forward to their fourth collaboration this will be. So yeah, a great director, a great actor there, so you can't really go wrong with that. Next we have The Martian, which is directed by Ridley Scott, going back to sci-fi films. He's really great with sci-fi films like Alien, Blade Runner and Prometheus, so I'll be interested to see him go back to that style genre again. And the film's going to star Jessica Chastain and Matt Damon, I think. Another film I'm really looking forward to is called Legend by Brian Helgeland, the director of 42 I think, and it stars Tom Hardy in two roles. He's playing twins in the film, and it's based on a true story of, I think it's two British criminals who were brothers back in the early 1900s, so that should be really good. It also stars Emily Browning. So these top 10 films aren't really in a particular order, they're just the 10 main films I'm looking forward to throughout the year. The top 5 though in this list are more so the ones I'm looking forward to the most, so when we get down to them I'll let you know. But starting in at number 10 is The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. So I wasn't really a fan of the Hunger Games series when it first began, but I enjoyed the first film. The second film was a lot better in my opinion. The third film, which came out last year, was okay. I don't think it was as good as the second film, but the fourth and final film is coming out this year, so I'll be interested to see how the whole series wraps up. I haven't read the book, so I'm not really sure how it's going to happen, but Jennifer Lawrence is a really good actress, and I'll be interested to see how it all winds up in the end. So number 9 I have The Walk, which is a film probably not many of you have heard about yet, but it's directed by Rob Zemeckis, who's one of my favourite directors. He recently did the film Flight, but he's done such classics as the Back to the Future trilogy, Romancing the Stone, Castaway, Forrest Gump. So he's just done a load of great movies, so I'm really looking forward to this. It's another live action film. It stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the lead role, so that should be interesting. And it's based on a true story also, so yeah, I'll be interested to see what that looks like. There has been a brief trailer, which I'll show in the corner of this video, released, but it only really shows one scene of the film, so it'll be interesting to see the whole movie. So number 8 is a film I'm really looking forward to. It was directed by one of my favourite directors, Quentin Tarantino, and the film is called The Hateful Eight. And if it's going to be probably quite a graphic, violent film like a lot of his earlier films, like Django Unchained, which came out in 2012, was really good, and it's my personal favourite of his films so far. Pulp Fiction, the Kill Bill films, Reservoir Dogs, they're all really violent films, but a lot of fun to watch as well, so I'll be interested to see how this film turns out. There has been one early trailer shown, though it doesn't show any of the footage of the actual film. It just has a lot of the character titles and names come up of the actors who are in the film, so I'm interested to see when the first trailer does come out how this film's going to look. It's shot in 70mm, so it's shot like the old Western film, so that should be interesting to see also. Bruce Dern and Kurt Russell are going to be in the film, Michael Madsen, so a lot of Tarantino regulars, so it should be interesting to see. Tim Roth I think is going to be in it as well, so yeah, that'd be good. Number 7 is a film directed by Daniel Espinosa, and it's Child 44, and this is another one of the Tom Hardy films I was talking about. It stars Tom Hardy and Noomi Rapace, who they both starred together in The Drop recently, and Gary Oldman's also in the film, who has been in The Dark Knight Rises, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and Lawless, also with Tom Hardy, all 3 of those films. Pretty much any film with Tom Hardy I'm really looking forward to. He's one of my favourite actors, and there's not much news out on this film yet. There's just a few images, so I'll be looking forward to seeing a trailer soon, because I think the film comes out in April, so we haven't got a trailer or a poster or anything like that yet, but I think that shouldn't be too far off. And it looks as though it's going to be a similar style film to Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, though I think it'll be set in like around the 1930s, 40s maybe, and it's a British like spy espionage thriller film, so similar kind of in that vein of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Number 6 is another film also starring Tom Hardy and another of my favourite actors, Leonardo DiCaprio. So the two actors are actually probably my top 5 actors of all time, so I'm really looking forward to this movie. I'm not sure the director's name because it's really hard to pronounce, but he directed Birdman in 2014, which is probably the most popular film of the year. So there's a lot of potential in this film with that director and the 2 actors in the leading roles. It's set in, I think, the early 1900s, about a guy who's left for dead after a bear mauls him, and he's out for revenge on the people who left him there. So it sounds like an interesting story, though we don't have trailers or anything like that yet. I think they're still filming it actually, so it's meant to be out later this year though, so that's The Revenant, so I think that sounds like a pretty good film also. So now we're down to my top 5, and these are films that I've seen more about. I've seen trailers, I've seen posters, and I know a bit more about these films, so I'm a bit more excited for them. So at number 5 we have... So Jurassic World is obviously part of the Jurassic Park series. I grew up watching the Jurassic Park films. Steven Spielberg is one of my favourite directors. I love the first film. The second film is really good also. The third film not so great, but the first film is just such a classic, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they handle the fourth film, though Steven Spielberg would have been the ideal choice for the director. I think he's still an executive producer on the film. The first trailer looks really interesting. It looks like it's got great visual effects. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of dinosaurs and just carnage, so I'm hoping it's just a film that you can enjoy and have a lot of fun with. And I think the film centres around a few child actors, and I think the main one is the kid from Insidious, so he was pretty good in those films, so I just hope he's good in these films and not one of those annoying child actors, but it should be an alright film. Chris Pratt's also in it, so that should be good. So at number 4 we have... So Chappie was directed by Neil Blomkamp, who directed District 9 and Elysium in the last few years, and he's one of the more original sci-fi directors of the last couple of decades. He's just done a few really good movies with great ideas and visual effects in them, and there is a trailer out for this film. It looks really interesting. Charlito Copley is also in the film. He was in the last 2 films that he directed as well. He plays the voice of Chappie, and I think the stop motion as well. Hugh Jackman's also in the film, and Sigourney Weaver. Hugh Jackman's one of my favourite actors, so I'll be interested to see it for him as well and his performance, but it just looks like a really enjoyable sci-fi action adventure or thriller film. But I think this one's probably going to be a PG-13 film, so it's probably not going to be as violent or explosive as District 9 or Elysium were, but it still could be a really great movie. In third place we have... In the Heart of the Sea was directed by Ron Howard, who's one of my favourite directors. He makes a lot of great films. This film stars Chris Hemsworth, and who was in his previous film Rush, and that was a really good movie. So I'm looking forward to this because it looks like a really fun adventure film. It's based on the story of Moby Dick, and it just looks like it has great visual effects, a lot of great overtone of adventure in the film. Just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I've pretty much enjoyed most of Ron Howard's films over the past decade. He has had a few hit and misses though, but I think this film looks like it's going to be really good, like it's going to be one of his better films. In second place we have... Star Wars The Force Awakens was directed by J.J. Abrams, one of the better sci-fi directors of recent years. He did the 2 Star Trek films as well as Mission Impossible 3 and Super 8. So I think it was definitely a good choice for directing Star Wars films, even though they don't really need more films. I got really excited after seeing this new trailer for the film, though it doesn't show much, but what it shows, it really looks like they're going back to the original trilogy look of the film, and just looks like it's going to be full of fun and adventure and great visual effects, a great cast. They're bringing back Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher, so it's good to see. It'll be good to see the old cast back from the original trilogy as well. So the film doesn't come out till late December, but I'll still be really looking forward to it because they'll release more trailers and stuff throughout the year. I don't know a heck of a lot about the story, but I'm just going to go see it anyway because it's a Star Wars film and I grew up watching the originals and the new ones. Even though the new ones aren't as good, I think that these new Star Wars films coming out, if they're going to make a new trilogy, they'll definitely be a lot more professional and better than the previous trilogy we got. So now we're at number 1, and sorry if I'm rushing this video a bit, but it's really hot right now up here and the camera's almost dead, so I'm just going to try and get through it. So in first place, it's not Ant-Man, it's not Avengers: The Age of Ultron, it's... So Mad Max Fury Road is a film I've been looking forward to for a long time. It once again stars Tom Hardy in the lead role playing Max, taking over from Mel Gibson, who played him in the original trilogy. Directed by George Miller, who's the Australian director who also did the original trilogy and the recent Happy Feet films as well, which is a strange departure, but this new film looks so good, judging by the first 2 trailers we've got. It looks like it's just going to be a full-on adventure action flick from start to finish. There's meant to be very little dialogue in the film. I think it's just because they want to focus mostly on just the wild chase throughout the film. The visual effects look awesome. The rest of the cast, you've got Nicholas Hoult and Charlize Theron as well, so 3 really good actors in the leading roles as well as an original director. I think this movie has a lot of potential, and I hope it holds up to the trailers because the trailers make it look really fantastic and cool. And this film comes out, I think it's in May, so not too far off, and I just hope it's a really great action-packed adventure film with a lot of great effects and acting and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to Mad Max Fury Road. I know a lot of people will be upset that I didn't have the Avengers or Ant-Man, a lot of the big superhero films coming out this year on the list. I'm not really a huge fan of Marvel superhero films. I'm more of a DC fan, but I'll still go out and see those movies as well because they look pretty good. So thanks guys for watching my video on my most anticipated films of 2015. Let me know down in the comments what your most anticipated films of the year are, and subscribe to my channel because throughout the year I'll be reviewing these films and doing Blu-ray updates every month and top 10 lists and things like that. And any other ideas that you guys have for me, I'll probably turn them into videos as well if you want. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.